Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to briefly talk about how to sustain your chords. How to sustain your chords. How to sustain your chords. So first of all, you can sustain your chords in two ways. It's either you have a sustain pedal. So when you play the chord, you press or you step on the pedal to prolong the effect of the chord, or you make changes to some settings on the keyboard to be able to sustain your chords. For the sake of this video, I will show the two ways, using the pedal and then making changes to settings on the keyboard to prolong your chords or to sustain your chords. So currently I have my sustain pedal here. And so when I press my chord and I take my hand off, that's it. But when I press the pedal and I press the chord, it prolongs. Assuming I press without the pedal, and now I want to press the same set of chords with the pedal. You can hear that it's sustaining. So that's basically what the sustain pedal does. The sustain pedal helps you to sustain your chords. So now my leg is on the pedal. So if I play, it's helping me to sustain. But in the case you don't have a pedal, and then you have a Yamaha PSR E463, or you have any other keyboard, you look for the release. You look for the release on the keyboard, and then you increase the release. When you increase the release, automatically when you press the chord, you would appreciate it that now it prolongs a little longer than it used to. So with this keyboard, Yamaha PSR E463, on my left here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and under them I have live. Under them is cut off, resonance, reverb, chorus, DSP parameter A, DSP parameter B, attack, release, volume balance, and rate trigger rate. So release falls on 4 and it's on the right. The settings have been divided into 2, one on the left, one on the right. So the buttons here, this button is for the settings on the left, and this button is for the settings on the right. So I'll press my knob assign. When I press my knob assign on the keyboard, I will see now it's on 1. So when I press the knob assign, it goes to 2. When I press the knob assign, it goes to 3. When I press the knob assign, 4, 5, 6, in that order. But with this video, we want to prolong our chords, or we want to sustain our chord. So we'll be looking to increase the release. We'll just look for where the release is. The release is on number 4 and it's on the right side. So I'll press the knob assign to 4, 2, 3, 4, to 4. Now the knob assign is on 4, and then my release is on my right. So when I turn this button, it means I'm increasing the release. When I turn it to the right, it means I'm increasing the release. When I turn it to the left, it means I'm reducing the release. Now let's see something. So it's still in the middle. I've not made any changes. The knob assign is on 4. So once I turn the button here, it means to make changes to the release, either increase it or decrease it. So it's neutral. I haven't touched it yet. the same chords. Now I want to increase the release slightly. Now let's appreciate it. Okay, the difference is not significant. Let me increase it a bit more. Now it's sustaining, as though I'm using the sustain pedal. The same chords, but then there's a bit of sustain in it. So regardless of the keyboard you are using, you just look for where the release is, and when you find the release, you increase the release. When you go to your function or your settings, you will definitely find your cutoff, your release, your resonance, your reverb, and then you just increase the release. When you increase the release, your chord begins to prolong. So with these changes I've made, we can all see the difference. When I bring it back to where it was and I press the chord, there's no prolongment. But when I push it here and I press the same chord, you can appreciate the fact that there's a bit of prolongment here. And in case you don't want to use the release on the knob assign button, you can just come to function. When you come to function, you look for M release. So we have M release to be 64. Now I'll increase the M release to 100. Now let's appreciate it. The difference is not very significant, but let me increase it a bit more to, let's say, 110. Then I can appreciate it. Now we can all appreciate the fact that it's sustaining, because I've made changes to the release. So I think that will be all for the release, or how to prolong or sustain your chords, either with a sustain pedal or by making changes to the settings on your keyboard. Again, when you dual, assuming I've already explained how to use the dual in my previous videos, so now I've dual, I will long press the dual to change my dual voice to, let's say, strings. It's on strings, so I have piano and strings now. Now I can make changes to the release of the piano independently, and I can make changes to that of the release of the strings to independently. If I want to make changes to the release of the strings, if I want the strings to be more prolonged, to be more sustained as I play, I'll look for, since it's D dual, I'll look for D release. So I have D release to be 64. I'll just increase it to, let's say, 95. Then when I play, we know that the strings prolongs more than the piano. Let me send it to 110. The strings, if you are paying attention carefully, you see that the strings prolongs a little. Let me send it to 115. We have the strings prolonging a little. That's the same way if I want to make changes to the piano, I'll use the M release. Since the piano is the main volume, the first tone I set, it means if I want to make changes to the release, I make changes to M release. That of the strings, which is the dual tone, I'll use the D release. In case my strings was my M tone, or my main tone, it means if I want to change the release of my strings, I'll change it with M release. because that is my main tone. And if I want to change it with that of the piano, that is if I have rather made the piano the dual tone, it means I will have to go to the D release to change the release settings of my piano. It is not always the case that we have our piano to be our M tone and before we have our strings to be our dual tone. Any tone can be used as the M tone, any tone can be used as the dual tone. We can have saxophone as our M tone and we have organ to be our dual tone. In that case, if you want to make changes to the release of the organ, since it's the dual tone, you look for D release and you make changes to the D release, and then you will see the effect of the release on the chords and then the prolongment of the chords. Likewise, if you have a pedal, it makes things quite easier. You just press the pedal as you play your chords. So I think that will be all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.